Do it.
Do it!
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And now, the Game of the Year award goes to The Last of Us Part 2.
All right, I guess this is the night bitches die.
Alright, let's do it. Let's talk about the Game Awards. Oh boy, did they screw the pooch this year. They have essentially decimated their own reputation, ruined it, burnt it to the ground. How did this happen? I want to say Sony paid for it or paid them off, but I really don't think it was Sony because, Ghost of Tsushima was also nominated, and that was a much better fucking game than The Last of Us Part 2. I haven't even played The Last of Us Part 2. I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima. I've seen them. I've seen both their gameplays. I know both their stories. Ghost of Tsushima was way fucking better. Not to mention, it was universally praised by critics. It was universally praised by the fans, and it's been apparently one of the best PS4 exclusives released ever. The Last of Us 2, on the other hand, alienated its fan base, pissed off just about everybody under the sun, except for the fucking dweebs on the internet who try to defend it. I will never, ever, ever play the first Last of Us game because I know exactly what happens in The Last of Us Part 2. I've seen the gameplay. It didn't try anything new and innovative. Apparently, it won the Innovation Award. Somehow, The Last of Us Part 2 won the Innovation Award. It looked like any other stealth game with some pretty fucking graphics and just an auto-lock-on X button masher. That's it. That's it. That's all it was. That's all it looked like. The gameplay looked like the same as the first one, more or less. It looks boring as hell. Yeah, some of the atmosphere was kind of cool, but that's about it, really. What everyone praises about The Last of Us is the story, because that's what keeps them going to the end. Even a mediocre game can be pushed to the end by its story, if the story is compelling. The Last of Us 2 did not deserve to win Game of the Year. That was laughable. You had Ghost of Tsushima on there. You had Doom Eternal on there, which we'll get back to. I made a video earlier. I basically said, if Doom Eternal doesn't win Game of the Year, we riot. Well, looks like we're going to fucking riot, but still, my heart bleeds for Ghost of Tsushima fans. Hell, Animal Crossing sold better. Animal Crossing was received better. Animal Crossing has more longevity than The Last of Us Part 2. Animal Crossing was a better contender. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, one of the best bloody games released this year. One of the best sequels in recent years. Came out just before Doom Eternal did. March 2020. That game was fucking awesome, improved upon its predecessor in almost every way. Almost every way. It actually brought its gameplay to the next level. It had better art. It had better, it had better combat, had better art, had a great story. Arguably better than its predecessor. That's a sequel worthy of being nominated for Game of the Year. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, as far as I know, didn't win a fucking thing. Didn't win any bloody awards. It certainly didn't win for the category it deserved to win. For its art direction, what the hell? Apparently Hades beat out Doom Eternal. Hades beat out Doom Eternal for Best Action Game of the Year. Best Action Game. The Game Awards fucking lost their mind. Now, granted, I have nothing against Hades whatsoever. I'm sure it's a fantastic bloody game. I've seen the gameplay. I've seen the art direction. I'm sure it's got a fan base for a reason. I will play it eventually. It looks like a fun game to play. Based on what I saw, best action game over Doom Eternal? Fuck no! Doom Eternal's the best bloody action game of the goddamn decade, almost. That game it's the most addictive action game that I've ever played. I'm addicted to Doom Eternal because of its action. The fact that it's an action game. Now, admittedly, this could be 2020's fault because, production was halted for numerous games, production was slower, or it was just a bad release year for first-person shooters. Black Ops Cold War was shit, but it didn't release till the end of the year, and that's pretty much the only first-person shooter that I can think of that Doom Eternal had legitimate competition with. Not that, on paper it was competition. In reality, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War doesn't hold a candle to Doom Eternal because it's a pile of shit. Doom Eternal's fucking phenomenal. The only play, I'd even go as far as to say Doom Eternal's multiplayer is better than Black Ops Cold War's. The only thing Black Ops Cold War did well was zombies. Anyway, because there was a lack of first-person titles, they couldn't throw in a best FPS category. I didn't see one, and Doom Eternal would have absolutely won that. So essentially, Doom Eternal didn't have a category that it had a slam dunk for this year, but it should have won. If anything, it should have won best action game, because now you can't have best FPS. You have to have best action game, and Doom Eternal didn't win over Hades? Over Hades. How does that fucking work? It doesn't make any sense. It's very clear, though, that the Game Awards this year, which I'm dubbing the Shame Awards, because holy crap, the Shame Awards, it was politics. It was all politics. Video game journalists have been out of touch for a decade now. Often, giving mediocre reviews for games that are obviously going to be popular and good, or trying to bring down games or slanderize them at every turn, the games that are actually good for the community, that have good business practices. I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 is going through a tough time at the moment. From what I've played, it's a fantastic game. It's just bogged down by technical difficulties, which I think is understandable given the size and scope of the game. Not to mention the game's been delayed numerous times. Games journalism isn't hesitating with that. They hate CD Projekt Red. They're trying to drive Cyberpunk 2077 into the shitter, trying to review bomb it hard. What I've seen from the games journalism, it just grinds my gears, because where the fuck was this journalism when The Last of Us 2 came out? Wasn't fucking there because they were playing politics, because Last of Us 2 has a couple fucking themes and shit, and it's overly pretentious and it's insulting to its fan base. That gets the thumbs up from the games journalism, because fuck gamers. It's an absolute joke. I can't. It just makes me angry. I would have gotten this video up a long time ago, but we recently had announcements for new Marvel and Star Wars content. Disney had its Investor Day, and I made a video about that on my primary channel, link in the description. And I went back and I played some more Cyberpunk, because I was like, I haven't played much of it because I'm so busy. So, and then I was like, all right, I'm actually gonna get this video out because I have to rant about this, obviously. Let's summarize. The Last of Us won Best Innovation. It won Best Game Direction. I made a tweet about this. I was basically like, yeah, give the Best Game Direction award to a guy who didn't pay his employees during a pandemic, who wrote one of the worst stories in recent years, who wrote one of the most insulting stories that alienated pretty much all of his fans, that tried to censor YouTubers and destroy their livelihoods. I mean, my channel was attacked. This channel you're watching, yeah, that was attacked by Naughty Dog because I mentioned the shitty leaks about Last of Us Part 2. I didn't show anything, but I was flagged, regardless, by Sony, and Neil Druckmann was absolutely a part of that. Horrible businessman, absolute piece of shit of a human being. He won Best Game Direction. Best Company Lead for a game project. Yeah, go fuck yourself, Neil Druckmann. And Best Game Direction, well, the direction The Last of Us Part 2 was unanimously hated, I'm sorry. You can delude yourself into thinking otherwise. I'm sorry. No, it wasn't. I mean, I just heard about it and I fucking hated it. I have no investment in it. It was a joke. And certainly the gameplay ain't nothing special, so I ain't gonna play that piece of shit story. If the story was good, maybe I'd play it. I was thinking about playing The Last of Us Part 1. Fat chance of that happening now. I will definitely play Ghost of Tsushima at one point. I just don't have a PS4. It's not that I wouldn't play it if I could. I don't have a PS4. I don't have a PS5. Alright? I got a PC, I got an Xbox, I got Nintendo, that's it. Alright? I'm surprised Animal Crossing didn't win much. Ori wasn't even nominated for Game of the Year, dear God. And they didn't even win the category it was meant to win. It was meant to win art direction, because Ori, you can try and refute Ori's art direction if you want. No one will believe you. Put Hades up alongside Ori and the Will of the Wisps. You see the unanimous decision in favor of Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Because Hades doesn't have shit on Ori's art direction. Last of Us Part 2 doesn't have shit on innovation, on game direction. On Game of the Year, that's laughable. Laughable. It's an absolute joke, man. I honestly cannot believe it. Doom Eternal was robbed this year. It didn't win Best FPS. There wasn't even a category for it. That's somewhat understandable, but didn't win Best Action Game. What the fuck? Ghost of Tsushima, it did okay. I think it deserved Game of the Year, if not Doom Eternal, but that was robbed by politics, because Last of Us Part 2 won. And not only that, but they even made the Game Awards actually made the progressive, politically correct Game Award. They actually, you see it. It was called Games of Impact. That was the wording they use for most progressive Game Award. So don't tell me the Game Awards, the Shame Awards, weren't fucking playing politics, because they absolutely were, and fuck them for doing so. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start my own bloody Game Awards. I could pull a Game Awards ceremony out of my ass, and it would have more fucking prestige than the Game Awards 2021, because fuck that. Fuck that. Cyberpunk's come out. It's going to be the best game of next year, regardless of what any fucking award ceremony is. I don't know why anyone takes them seriously. I only take it seriously because it encourages more products like The Last of Us Part 2. It tells people, it tells the vast majority and the corporate heads, hey, this is good, do more shit like this, and that is bad. Alright? Personally, I don't really give a fuck. I'm pissed off and I'm worried for the gaming industry because this is what they look at. This is what they care about, and this is what makes them go in certain directions, and it causes a pile up of just shit that's going to be... we're going to get more shitty games because of this, I guarantee you. We're going to get a Last of Us Part 3, no one's going to care. I'm certainly not going to care. I mean, any chance of that happening is out the fucking window. Hats off to Ghost of Tsushima. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for the PlayStation 4 players who, they got some awards at least. Should have won Game of the Year if not for Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal got nothing, which was a joke. # Justice for Doom guy. Animal Crossing could have done a bit better. I think it deserved to. I'm glad Among Us actually won. I was really happy about that. I haven't played Among Us, but that game shot into the fucking stratosphere. I've never seen an indie game, get so much love and universal praise on such a phenomenal scale as Among Us. That game has taken the world by storm, and it won Best Multiplayer. An indie game won Best Multiplayer over Call of Duty, over Call of Duty Warzone, which is actually good, unlike Black Ops Cold War. Among Us won that. Well done. Alright, I'm happy about that. The only thing I really took from this whole thing was the Game Awards announcements of new upcoming projects. It was a nice dragon riding multiplayer game that I liked. And a new Mass Effect's coming out. I'll definitely do a video about that, and you can expect a video about my thoughts on Cyberpunk, my initial thoughts. But other than that, the Game Awards was an absolute fucking shit show. For shame. The Last of Us won when it absolutely did not deserve to. They knew it was the most hated game of the year, and they still fucking did it anyway because politics. Because fuck gamers. Because we know better than you. And that's fucking unacceptable. Fuck the Game Awards. Fuck Jeff Knightley. Fuck all the presenters that were brought in for political purposes, Brie Larson being among them. God damn it. It wasn't all bad for The Last of Us Part 2, though. At least Laura Bailey won Best Voice Actress. She's lovely. I love Laura Bailey. She's great. She just absolutely deserves her Voice Actress award for Best Performance. She's been in a ton of things I like. She was in Dragon Ball Z from the old days, and I'll always love her for that. But, other than that, guys, it was a terrible show. RIP Game Awards, they're no longer relevant. They don't belong in the conversation anymore. It's all downhill for them from there. They had an okay reputation. They chose God of War in the past as Game of the Year, Witcher 3 for Game of the Year. All the right choices. Well, mostly, because I think Dragon Age Inquisition won one year. But this is unacceptable. They could not have picked a worse candidate for Game of the Year. And it's very glaringly obvious why they picked it. Because it is representative of how they think as a corporation. It's a representative of how the gaming journalism community thinks about gaming and what direction it should go in and what's quality and what isn't. I mean, technical issues aside, Cyberpunk, I played fucking 8 hours of Cyberpunk. If this fucking game coming out doesn't win Game of the Year next year, because it's a great fucking game. Cyberpunk, just for the record, it's a great fucking game. It is just having a lot of technical issues right now, okay? Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Said my piece on it. Have a great day. Check out some of my other videos if you're curious. Subscribe to the main channel. Check it out if you're curious. Talk about movies, television, pop culture, you name it. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. You're a legend for staying to the end of the video, and I'll see you next time.